Okay, let's get into a vinyl finds video. And we'll start with this little box set called Punk 45. And this thing has XX, the Bizarros, Rubber City Rebels, the Scabs, Hollywood Squares, and the Flesh Eaters, and it is on Soul Jazz Records. Here's the top of the box. Here's the bottom of the box, telling all the bands and the songs they sing. And this thing is called Approaching the Minimal with Spray Guns. And the little records that are inside are the Hollywood Squares, Hillside Strangler, and Hollywood Square on the flip side. This thing it needs no introduction. That might have been the reason I bought all this. Okay, here we go with the Scabs. This is a little EP with 4 songs on this thing. Opens up like this, and then you see the record. I think these guys are from England, from a long time ago, late 70s. And this thing is very entertaining. It's good. In fact, most of these bands I never even heard of before I bought this thing. And this was a nice surprise. The Scabs. Except for the song, Don't Just Sit There. That really goes on for a while. But barring that, this thing is pretty great. Okay, here is another record that came in it. And this one just has this for the holder of this great Flesh Eaters record. And this Flesh Eaters record is called, it's not called anything, but it has songs on it like Disintegration Nation, Twisted Road, Agony, Shorthand, Radio Dies Screaming. And I think this was the very first thing they ever put out. And the Soul Jazz Records decided you should be able to get it for an affordable price instead of, I don't know, whatever somebody would charge you for the original of this. Oh, and by the way, the little records inside this box, they sound really good. Okay, here's a split from Akron, Ohio. Side A are the Bizarros. Side B, Rubber City Rebels. And both of these songs, and both of these bands are very entertaining. This is kind of like bar punk rock and roll. Very Stooges-like. And very worth your time. All right, here's the last little record. This is the XX one. And these dudes are from Cleveland. And this little record has 2 songs on it. No Nonsense and Approaching the Minimal with Spray Guns. And, wow, what a great little punk rock record. Never even heard of these guys before. But I've heard of them now. And that was this box set. Let's move on to something that is complete perfection. This is the Adolescence Live 1981 and 86. And what this is almost like bootleg recordings from several shows from all across America. And wow, what a wonderful, wonderful record. Although I am obsessed with the Adolescence, but still, even if you weren't, having this thing, well, every time you put it on, it won't let you down. And it does have a cover song by the band The Germs called The Liar. And I don't know what to say about this thing other than it is perfect. It's on Nickel and Dime Records. The vinyl looks like this. And this is just one of the greatest Adolescence records I own. Can't believe I made it this far without it. Live 81 to 1986 by the Adolescence. Okay, here's another great record that just came out. True Sounds of Liberty, Sweet Transvestite. And it is the song from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And let's get to the little record. This is what the little record looks like. And it's pretty close to the Rocky Horror Picture Show song that's on the soundtrack. But they kind of TSOL'd it up on this. So picking this up, no regrets. No regrets at all. That's a really fun listen. Okay, let's get into a listen that's not fun. It's just intense. And there's nothing fancy about it. It's just pure, intense satisfaction. And this is the new record by Escuela Grind, and it's called Memory Theater. And here is the wild looking jacket. And this is grindcore, thrash metal grindcore. Yeah, that's what this thing is. The record jacket alone is worth buying this. What an entertaining jacket. And there's nothing in it, just this and the great record. So if you're into the wild stuff, Escuela Grind will not let you down. Okay, this is the Suicidal Tendencies, Amsterdam Presidio, July 26, 1987 FM broadcast. This thing has 4 songs on each side. Has Fascist Pig, Saw Your Mommy, War Inside My Head, Won't Fall in Love. Side B, Suicidal Failure, Join the Army, Possessed to Skate, and last song is Institutionalized. This is, let's put it this way, the band is kind of all over the place on this. It sounds like they're having a really, really good time, and the lead guitar player, he just does solos on every song above and beyond, and that's not a good thing. Above and beyond is not a good thing when it comes to guitar solos, and this guy just, it's almost like he has guitar solo Tourette's on this. This sounds crazy. It's messy, it's crazy, the quality's good, but it does not sound like a Suicidal Tendencies studio album. This sounds like some crazy concert they put on. And I only have the first Suicidal Tendencies. I don't have the Join the Army record. And I bought this thing because it has 3 songs from Join the Army on it. And after hearing them, if I see it for like $6, I'll buy it. But the Join the Army record compared to the first Suicidal Tendencies record, wow, they're a world apart. And here's what the record looks like. Very snowy looking. Let's move on to a band that a lot of people are excited about. And let me dig out the first one. Here we go. This is the Schizos. And I pre-ordered this. So I had the Schizos in my record collection for a while now. And I just bought it because of the name of the record. And it was pretty good. But a lot of people are excited about this band. So I picked up their first LP, Sweet Time Records. And this is a wild punk rock trip. Very wild punk rock trip. Here's what came inside of it. And this is just crazy, messy, tuneful noise. So if you're a hardcore punk rocker, I really would suggest picking this up. Now, on side B of that Schizos record, there's a skip. But it doesn't sound like a skip. You know how most skips, you can tell the record is skipping. This, you don't hear that click. It's the smoothest skip I've ever heard. You don't even really notice it until you see that the needle isn't progressing. And I was wondering if anybody else's copy does that and if that's there on purpose. Because again, with a skip, you can hear a click and then it repeats. This thing, there's no click, but it's repeating. Very wild. When I recorded that into the computer to make a CD of it to listen to in the car and around the house, I recorded that skip for 5 minutes. It sounds great. Anyway, that's the schizos. Now let's move on to free LSD and free cocaine. This is the Dwarves, Free Cocaine, 1986 to 1988. It's a double album set, and it's all their late 80s craziness by a very, very great band. The reason why I showed you that, the Free Cocaine, is because I'm going to show you some free LSD by Off. This album is very space-like, electronic space-like as far as what the album cover looks like. It's on Fat Possum Records, and it doesn't sound like any of the other Off records. It sounds very different. Here's the little hype sticker. Here's what the record looks like. And here is a little lyric sheet. And here's something that came with it. A little, I guess, poster card with autographs. Okay, let's discuss this thing. This is one of the best Off records ever. Yet it's not like their other stuff. It's not those little Black Flag punk rock blasts. All the songs are kind of linked together with weird noise. Almost like it's a science fiction movie of sorts. None of the songs are really memorable, and yet they're the best. Wow, what a great release. I didn't expect this. It's nice when a band can completely change and not sound like anything they've done before and come out just as good, which is what this is. It's called the Off, Just As Good record. Free LSD, free cocaine from the Dwarves, and segue, I guess that's a segue into this. This is the Dickies Free Willy 7-inch. And if you have the record All This and Puppet Stew by the Dickies, then you have both these songs. The only reason why I bought this thing is because it was cheap. So what the heck. All right, here is DOA 7-inch, Right to Be Wild. Side 1 has a DOA song on it. Kind of a slow DOA song. Side 2 has a song by the Subhumans from Canada. Here's the little story that came with it, and I guess this was a benefit record for some guys from the Subhumans who bombed some pornographic stores that were selling or renting videos of women being beat up. And so they bombed the stores and they got caught. So they put them in jail up in Canada. And DOA put out this record to try and help with their legal fees. Try and get them out of jail for bombing those stores. And they bombed them when nobody was in there. Nobody got hurt. They just destroyed a lot of merchandise. All right. Here we go. This 7-inch is from a thrash, crazy band from Portland, Oregon, Suslaw. I went and seen them at the Info Cafe in fabulous Fresno, California. And this sounds exactly what it looks like. So if you see this picture and you want to hear what it sounds like, pick up anything by Suslaw. I don't even know what this record is called. The art on it is so insane. Jeez, what is it called? Fight Against the Slime Bags. That's it. This is Suslaw. Fight Against the Slime Bags. All right. What else have I got going? Oh, I got some more here. This is an old one, but it's a goodie. This is Iowa Slipknot. Or Slipknot, Iowa. Either way, this is a really good record. Wait, something's stopping it from closing all the way. Is it because there's a poster in this thing? No. I mean, there is a poster. Here's what the poster looks like that came with it. And the other day, I played this Iowa Slipknot record. And I played it on 40 RPMs. It became a completely different experience. So if you're not into the Slipknot, I guarantee you, you play this thing at 40 RPMs and you just might be. It gets really intense. Here we go. More Dickies. And I think this will finish off the video. Okay. This is getting to be a mess here. Okay, this is the PVC version of the Dickies Stukas Over Disneyland. Side 1, 4 songs. Side 2, 4 songs. Really good Dickies record. There's what the vinyl looks like. Okay. This is the Restless Records version of the same record. Stukas Over Disneyland. Except side 2 has 7 songs. Side 1, 4. Side 2, 7. It's got extra songs. And those songs are She's a Hunchback, Out of Sight, Out of Mind. No, they're not. Geez, they have little stars by them. It's kind of confusing. Anyway, the extra songs are I'm Okay, You're Okay, Gigantor, and Bedrock Barney on the Restless Records version of the Stukas Over Disneyland by the Dickies. Okay, damn, I'm covering up my records. This is what the vinyl looks like. A little thing for you to buy t-shirts from IRS Records. Jeez, what a mess. Okay, and this is the new version of it. Stukas Over Disneyland. And it has the bonus tracks of I'm Okay, You're Okay, Bedrock Barney, Gigantor. This thing is put out by Cleopatra Records, and it's a gatefold. And it came with this. There's the record. I guess an alternate cover and a picture of the band. So, if you want the extra songs for Stukas Over Disneyland, this Cleopatra Records version is much easier to obtain than the Restless Records version. Plus, this thing's brand new and it sounds perfect, where if you pick up a Restless Records version, it'll probably be used and might have pops and scratches. Okay, that's the end of this video. I got more to show, but I'm waiting for other records to show up to join those records for a complete package. I make such a mess when I do this.